Hello everyone and welcome to NSE Overwatch presented by Ignition Series. We are back yet again with some more upper bracket action coming your way today. I'm Matt, joined alongside me is Steph yet again. How are you feeling today?
Amazing. I'm really excited for today's matches between Oxford Omnics and Chichester Sharks.
We are on week 5 now, I believe, so things are starting to get exciting now. We're getting towards the later stages of this bracket. I'm excited to get into the action, of course, but of course before then, if you want to give us a quick rundown of how this stream's going to work today.
All right, so as you said, we're in week 5. So today we are only going to have one match today between Oxford Omnics and Chichester Sharks. Instead of best out of 3 games, the usual, we will be having a best out of 5. So, a longer game.
Yeah.
So it will be exciting to see how the dynamics change, if there's going to be like a comeback or there's going to be a sweep. But since it's best out of 5, we will have hero bans for the first time.
Yeah.
Each team has a 1 ban, but in later matches, so let's say the second map, same team cannot ban the same hero. So let's say they ban D.Va, they cannot ban D.Va throughout the rest of the match. And then the teams can also not ban the same role. So let's say we see a D.Va ban, we can also see a Domina ban.
Yeah, will be interesting, of course. I'll give you a quick introduction to the teams coming up for what we have today. So you can see on the screen at the bottom there, but we have the Oxford Omnics, who, based on my research, are quite a very decorated team. Like, by the looks of it, they've got like quite a few things. They came second in the last winter split. So they're in good form at the moment. So
That's good to hear.
The expectation's going to be high for them, I'm sure. They went 5-1 in the Swiss groups, dropping only 1 map, of course. It was to that really long name team. It's like Winston is found by police helicopter.
Yeah.
I want to know the inspiration for that name. That's a great name. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table, of course, today. And then their opponents are the Sussex. Even I start on it sometimes as well. The Sussex Sharks. They were the 11th seed coming into this, so they're slightly lower compared to the Oxford's 3rd seed. So it'll be interesting to see how well they pair up against it, whether they'll take the fight to them. Of course, they went 4-2, which is a slightly worse win record, but still a very impressive performance. So I'm sure they've got everything they need to do today. So of course, maps are being selected right now as we see, and then the hero bans as well. So I'm curious to see what hero bans do you think they're going to pull out for this game so far today.
Well, we've seen throughout this NSC, we've seen a lot of D.Va play. We've seen a lot of Soul Jet, and we have discussed it before. But Kiriko has appeared in every match so far. Yeah. But everyone's using it, so there's a low chance that she will get banned. Yeah. But who knows?
Of course, depends if they want to play them as well. Because it depends, maybe if they want to try, get some honor in, something like that, they might, think, oh, yeah, we'll just ban this Kiriko.
Definitely.
Of course, we hear the first match will be getting underway very shortly. So, in the meantime, I did manage to do a little bit of research into, their Oxford's previous performances as well. And they seem to like to play, like you said, that D.Va and all that. So, it'll be interesting to see, if they want to run with that again. I mean, so they do look to be going for the Sigma here. So far, what do you think of that?
Honestly, I really enjoy Sigma, especially with his zoning capabilities and with his shield being able to push her wherever. But honestly, I personally prefer the Sussex Sharks team comp here.
Yeah, the D.Va, the D.Va in the sim, potentially for that, of course the sim, the TP onto point, everything like that. Or they have just used it to just get the point quicker. They have swapped now to the Genji, AJX. Of course, Squat on the Torbjorn as well. This thing as they take this fight on the right side. Getting quite aggressive very early, and Sussex Sharks immediately forced to back off, and they will take the pivot to their own right side. Takes to the inside, trying to flip the map as they have. Now the Omnics do have full control at this point at the moment though. They've got to try and force their way through. Of course that Torbjorn is going to be very good at holding that set. They will look to have the first point early. Yeah. That for really even taking place so far.
A very quick take here by Oxford Omnics, and as I said, the Torbjorn is really good in this control type maps. So it'll be great to see the value that he can provide for this match.
Torbjorn is going to look to get run down. His egg robot and finds basic. It's a good first pick for them, since they will, as they keep just flipping map to side, they can't really try and find a breaker to break in. course, that takes from Eggloban over the stars, and the Diva now tries to force the Sigma off that point. And they force to back up. Again, that point control is just like proving very valuable for the Omnics early.
Ooh, but the Genji is picked up by Sigma.
Yeah, so he's got that geometry. And he's finally used the wall bounce of the Hyper Spears.
And as you can see, like the Sigma value so far has been really good. So maybe Sussex might want to like look to change their tactics.
Yeah. Sergeant, of course, finding that break, they will have to fall back. Of course, like, yeah, it seems like the Sussex Sharks have not found a way to get involved in this game yet so far.
Yeah.
Just kind of like trying to almost wait for the Omnics to potentially overextend, but it's just not happening. They're playing it so safe, just like Duncan Comet, the Fox comes through. Does find connection, 2 already in from the Sussex Sharks, so they will be split off here. Dive has gone in, but of course they will pivot back. Again, no progress made from the Sussex Sharks there.
Yeah, and the situation is dire, especially like the Sigma being able to hold this point, especially with that turret from Torbjorn. It just felt very hard for the Sussex to push, but here we are.
Well, the Orbital Ray comes through and they look trying to push back, but Eggloban finds basic on that off angle. Is like, again, even with the Orbital Ray, they just can't seem to find their way through. Eggloban does fall to AJX. Of course, the Tidal Blast comes through. Trying to detonate, but like, does not find anyone as the fight goes through. The Big Go does fall. Sudden Squirt now does find AJX. The Bleed double comes through to try and like get some extra stall on that point, try and get that touch. There's a Torbjorn out comes through, and that will be a perfect 100-0 for the Oxford Omnics.
That was very clean by Oxford. Like, not letting Sussex Sharks to touch point at all throughout that map. Just very dominant. Like,
that was a great first round from there, like from the Omnics perspective. But of course, the Sussex Sharks, they must feel a little bit frustrated that they just could not break through at all.
Yeah, like, how do you break like such a great defensive team comp by Oxford?
But a comp like that, I feel like you just have to get like a coordinated push going, like everyone goes in. Like instead of like trying to get that split dive that they were doing, like, that they tried to do on that first point earlier, but like it just did not seem to work. Of course, the flux just like split them off completely.
Yeah, and actually Sussex taking a page out of Oxford's book and picking the Torbjorn as well, so this will be a cool mirror matchup. And personally, I'm a really big fan of Torbjorn. Just sitting in the corner and just let her do all the work.
Yeah. It does seem to be... I was being surprised by like in the even previous games, like how well the Torbjorn is getting value was basic. By Sergeant Squares, he was like kind of like sitting there asking to take damage. He does fall now.
Sigma Rock misses.
Yeah, the Sussex Sharks do have the numbers advantage, but they are again pushed into a room. Like the zoning from Renee on Sigma is doing so much, and they don't even really spot him. They just leave him alone. Eggloban finds basic. Again, pushing him into this building, but like the poke still on tank on the building. But like across the point, he just gets forced out.
Yeah, even with like the number advantage by Sussex there, they just had that like hide. Oxford had that like that hide advantage from Sigma, and just couldn't target him. Yeah, and just was very clean by Oxford to still be able to win that fight even with DPS down.
Yeah, they just can't seem to find that way through. Yet again, even if they do find that pick, they still just struggle. Renee is just like doing a very good job of just zoning them off almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do well. Let's take this low ground yet again, but the setup on that high ground has been proven tough for them to break through. Poster has crossed, but again, it's just whole team just can't really get through that choke. The Torbjorn is just doing so good at just like keeping that spam up.
Yeah, this must be so annoying, and especially that now the team comps are pretty much literally mirrored. So, and if this is like Oxford's like comfort pick, then it will be very difficult for Sussex to beat them at their own game.
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Squirt just pulled an AJX. He does lose the tall 1v1, but like, yet again, the Flux comes through, finds value onto the point. Again, Dull Thunder will fall. Again, this is sustained, but the Wuyang cannot keep Renee up. Of course, Renee's first death as well, but that may be a struggle. But AJX, he's like trying to fight this game, but like Oxford Omnics just yeah, they do manage to recap.
Again, even with Sussex just taking a point for like a short amount of time, Oxford just immediately right back at it, and now they have the Soldier ult. So
yeah, they will have that to work with. So it'll be interesting to see like how well, because of course the Torb span has been enough, and that's the last thing you need is a Soldier also spamming you down as they look to take the left idol. Might get this all low. He's kind of getting forced out here. good disruptor from the from basic on Sojourn, but this Kitsune Rush comes through as they look to try and break out this choke. They do go up the space, but like again, point control still into the Oxford Omnic's hands. They can try and get aggressive on this Flux, but like, of course, struggling that level. Renee with the swap of the D.Va is like, again, falling very low. It does get demeched. Kitsune Rush comes in from the Omnics now. DOC gets popped. They're trying to find this point. AJX with a great headshot. He was for the Reang Tidal Blast comes through. Can he find the stuns? And again, he can. Kills coming through. The Omnics. They will be able to flip this point now. Barring a miracle from Pokester. Also just go out with the hammer kill as well.
And this seems to be match, well not match one, but like point for Oxford Omnics.
Yeah.
Again, very dominant showing here.
Yeah, they've really run away with this one.
But yeah, amazing to see. Another thing about like Sussex, I just noticed, they focus on the point way too much. Like sometimes they just wouldn't try to save a point. Like there, they will like take the objective for like few seconds, right? But they wouldn't be able to. They will take the objective for a bit, but like they wouldn't have the picks to maintain that control. So it'll be very difficult for them.
Yeah, like it seems like again just that like kind of like bunker playstyle from the Omnics was working very well on those 2 points. Like
definitely,
it seems like they just could not break through. And of course, like they tried to make those couple swaps here and there, but it just did not work. Like the Omnics, they went and swapped to the D.Va potentially. Like maybe they just felt like they weren't getting that sustain on Sigma on there.
Yeah.
Like it does seem like in both of those games, like the tank was playing a different game to what everyone else was, especially from the Sharks as well, because they just could not like follow the tank. They just do not have that sustain that the tank does to like survive on those points. Yeah,
it's just very difficult for the Sussex right now to just break through Oxford's defense. But that was point, so like a control point. So who knows, Sussex Sharks might be like better in hybrid or push maps rather than point and like this point objective controls, because Oxford Omnics right now look very dominant and honestly are the favorites to win today.
Yeah, of course, thought with that alone, like I feel like push might be their favored mode coming into this next game. Like, because if they want to like completely nullify like the bunker comps, like they might want to go with that with like the push map where you can't really set up in too many spots. Like you can't really set up on the choke, but then you need to of course get aggressive when you're pushing that bot, so you can't really fall behind. So like that will be interesting to see like if that comp will more suit Sussex's style.
Yeah.
Like, because again, the Omnics very like versatile team, so they like as we saw Renee switch to that D.Va every now and again. So like it might be interesting to see like if they can match that as well, then it might be a struggle for the Sussex to keep up.
But we do have the bans, so that will be a cool dynamic to see. Like maybe the Sussex might want to ban that Torbjorn, who is able to control those points, or the Sigma. So yeah, it'll be cool to see like the differences in the bans, and like the dynamic, as I said, will change throughout the match. So hopefully Sussex can pick up the pace and hopefully use that ban and understand like, Oxford Omnics played this way. They are very good at controlling. Can we abuse that in a way? Can we just like ban one character and then let's see if they crumble a bit, you know?
Yeah. Of course, like target banning can be a very valuable strat. I know like that's definitely more like a ranked kind of like strategy. Like, like you view this guy's profile like, oh, he's pretty good at like Genji or something, and like just ban that out. But I feel like, what character do you think would be like the ban going forward?
Sigma.
Like you think Sigma? Yeah,
definitely.
Like it did seem like Renee had the kind of like Sigma like dual like mirror like in his favor.
Yeah.
So maybe like they might want to like maybe like ban out that Sigma. Maybe like then try Sussex can play what they want to play.
Yeah.
Although they did walk out on Sigma too.
Yeah, they did.
Oh no, they ran out of D.Va, no?
Yeah, they started with D.Va and then mirrored Sigma. So again, maybe the Sussex Sharks tank player might not be as like confident on
that
Sigma. Yeah, so I definitely think like a Sigma ban might work out for them. It's been like Sigma is so versatile. He can be very good like going in, but also just being able to use that void and then be able to fall back.
Yeah.
And have that sustain.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like, of course, like that D.Va might find that just that little bit more value, like without the Sigma, because of course, like the Rock can be very devastating for like a dive push. Once the D.Va's like stunned like that, no DM for her to like block, like she can just get melted down, especially with like a high DPS like comp backline they had with the Torb and Soj.
What about Sussex keeping the Sigma but going Orisa. That could work.
Could potentially work, but then I think that could be their style going forward. To be fair,
Yeah.
so like maybe if they're comfortable, of course, on that Orisa, but like of course they will then have to find a map to play Orisa with.
Yeah.
Of course, like Orisa might not work too well without those push maps, but like of course Suravasa, our next coming match. If you are like listening to the audio there, of course like Suravasa is like seems to be a very popular map in this event so far.
I think honestly it's like a comfortable pick for everyone. So again, just very solid. Like the ascent, or like in van terms, like the ascent of Overwatch, or what's like a dust 2 of CS 2.
Well, I think it's surprising though, because like for like most like I suppose like it's very different across the community, like who votes for what map, because usually like down in the metal ranks everyone's like Kings Row, Kings Row, Kings Row.
Oh yeah.
But like it seems like upper ranks everyone loves Suravasa.
Yeah.
And, like I love seeing the Suravasa love, because like even before like Flashpoint changes, I was still a kind of a fan of the mode.
Yeah.
I did like kind of how it was. It was a little bit frustrating every now and again, but like again, just like control maps, like Flashpoint maps, I feel like they do like of course bring better like action compared to like payload maps. You can kind of cheese them, like, as I've mentioned before. Like you can get like the you can just like spam chokes and just get value, and then you will win games, because it's what we've seen in previous games as well. Like even teams that were getting upset, like you just don't see like wait
no, it's take time.
teams that were like getting that value, like they were getting stomped, like will find value on payload maps like hybrid and escort.
Yeah.
Like something that is like a completely different playstyle almost. So like it can favor them more potentially.
One character that I would want to see throughout the series, I don't know if anyone practiced it, but Vendetta. Like she's super fun, and especially in week 3. Yeah, week 3 we had like that Vendetta player who was just was it a burger?
That was week 2. Yeah.
Oh, week 2. Yeah, because week 3 I wasn't even here. Yeah. But yeah, in week 2 where we had this map and the Vendetta like 1v2, that was like such a good memory. So hopefully we might be able to see those plays.
Well, maybe Vendetta was banned in that last game.
Oh, true. So, and especially like she's a banned throughout, like not only in rank but also like in high pro plays.
Yeah, I feel like Vendetta is like the most banned hero across like all ranks, but then also has like the highest win rate as well. So like she's just so broken at the moment. Like teams can instantly find value off her.
Yeah.
Like.
So we've heard about bans.
Yeah, which is good.
Wu Yang and Roadhog.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on? I know that Yu Yang is like both teams play, but what about Roadhog? I did not expect that.
I did not expect the Roadhog either, but maybe that's just to enable that diva, maybe that little bit more.
Yeah.
Like because of course like the hook can like cancel like the diva matrix, and then of course opens it up to be like beamed down.
Yeah.
Roadhog can be like a very like almost anti-dive.
True.
Like, especially like a more split dive. So like they can just find that pick easy. So maybe that could be like more to like just try and like play more like the similar style to like the last game almost. Just like almost like a bunker off almost.
Yeah. And again, did not expect of Roadhog. But Wu Yang as well, like do you think Salsa Sharks have found like difficulty pushing through him?
Yeah.
Like
well, I feel like it's kind of like a similar style to Torb almost. You can just spam down a choke with like the orbs, and then all of a sudden you get hit once, half your health's gone.
You're
like, this is hard to break through. And
yeah,
maybe
good push.
Yeah, if they study and they've got those lineups down, like they curve it around the entire map. Like of course the tidal blast as well. Like saw game changing like ult there a bit towards the end.
It just
like help them just control that point.
It's very annoying to like push through. So we're getting rid of like one of those like bunker characters, like really good. But in a way, Roadhog is also a bunker character. So both teams like normal bunkering, and especially on Flashpoint, which is like much more fast paced, much more fight every time. So it'll be interesting to see like how the tactics change throughout this match.
Well, if the Sussex had also watched the same game that I did, we saw that Renee also like quite favoured that Roadhog.
Oh.
Like, in some of those early games, like especially in those like control maps, like the Flashpoint maps, he did like that Roadhog.
Yeah.
Like, so I suppose like that could be like maybe the reason why they've like gone for that Roadhog ban, like potentially. But again, like of course, did play it in that last map, which is surprising because especially on the Sanctum, which is the first one, like usually you would see like a Roadhog, they'd try and go for those hooks into the void. But of course, they didn't want to go for that this time. They maybe playing it safe. They're in the playoffs now. They're like, okay, try and lock in, like play a serious game. Let's not play for the fun. Let's play to win.
I mean, Roadhog, if you're like a good Roadhog, being able to hit those hooks can be just very good.
But then again, this high up, surely teams can deal with that Roadhog.
Yeah.
Like, especially if they have, like, if that Ana is available. Or
it's very telegraphed.
Then, just you see the hog, he's melted, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, no amount of...
and it doesn't bring, like, a lot of utility to his team.
Not really. It is kind of a very selfish character. Like, back when, like, in, like, 6v6 with 2 tanks was, like, a very good, like, of course, you had the old, like, Orisa hog, like, thing where the Orisa would, like, pull them together. Hog would like hook straight down the middle, like find an easy target, which is a very cheese way of getting a hook. But like, of course,
if it works, it works.
Exactly. And like, yeah, of course, can't quite do that now anymore. Not with that one tank, but of course, like even then, just getting hooked can be so frustrating because like there's not much you can do if you've got less than like 300 HP.
Yeah,
you're just screwed.
To be fair, one thing that because I'm very new to Overwatch, I do want to like ask you your opinion on 6v6 versus 5v5.
Okay.
What do you see the future of Overwatch, especially that they're going back to like the original route of like changing back to Overwatch rather than Overwatch 2 and just trying to go back to what worked? What do you think the future of Overwatch will be looking like? Do you think they will be going back to a 6v6?
I don't think they'll go back to a 6v6. I feel like they made that change to the 5v5. I feel like that was one of the main things about it being a sequel to Overwatch.
Yeah.
But like, I do think that they will stick with a 5v5. I feel like 6v6 will just be something on the side for players that want to play 6v6. Then of course players that are interested in like competitive like grinding and stuff, like want to play in like almost the esports mode, they will play the 5v5. But of course, the game itself now is not ready for... Okay, we've just had some breaking news, which is unfortunate to hear. But apparently the Sussex Sharks will have to forfeit because one of their players has cannot get a good connection.
Oh no! Imagine going so far and having to forfeit just because your internet is bad.
That could be maybe the reason why it was such a stomp.
Is because someone's internet, it was literally 4v5.
Yeah, do you imagine? That is a very unfortunate scenario. But of course, like, no, it feels, I'm sure everyone knows how it feels, like, get a bad internet.
But I think that's it then for us. But on the second stream, but we do have the NSC first stream that you guys can go and watch. And of course the first stream as well, who's streaming Rainbow Six Siege. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you like Overwatch, first channel is open. I'm sure they've got a great game going off there. I believe, if I remember correctly, they have I think the very long team name, the Winston is found by helicopter maybe. So we'll see. If you want to go check out some other Overwatch action, head over to that first channel. If you feel like something different, like you want to watch some Siege,
go for it.
Like go watch on the third channel as well. So I think
it was a very short stream. Like really unlucky for such a Sharks. Hopefully we'll see them progress through the lower bracket because again, losing to this connection is just so unlucky. It just happens, I guess.
Well, yep. So I believe that's it from us. Hope you enjoyed your one map. Hey,
Oxford were dominant.
So that's about it from us. So tune in next week. We'll be back with some more NSC Overwatch action. We'll see you. See you then. Surprise!
We are back with a new match for you guys. The Crazy
Crazy Raccoons versus the Warwick Angles. So,
who are a team who we've seen before.
yeah, we've seen them a couple times, I think. Because I think they played like in one of the when we were following the team around for one of the earlier weeks.
Yeah, and then they won a game against. Who did they win against?
What, most recently?
Yeah,
it was Snakeskins, I believe.
Yeah, the Snakeskins, who they won by forfeit the Snakeskins because of the accident.
Yeah,
but yeah, we are lucky to have a game. Thank you, NRC, for giving us this game. And yeah, the series right now between the Warwick Angles and Crazy is 2-2 Crazy, 2-0.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it could be another one map thriller depending on how this next game goes. Like, of course, unfortunately we've not had too much time to like do some background research on everything, but I do believe that we are ready to go. And the bands that we hear are Lucio and Torbjorn.
Torbjorn or Bastion?
Torbjorn and Lucio. Yeah. Which is interesting, of course, because we've followed the Warwick Angels in the past, or Angles in the past, and they do like to run that like it was like Torbjorn Bastion DPS lineup. So that'll be interesting to see how that shakes up.
Yeah, and from like the hero of it, like the Crazy Raccoons being able to dominate like 2-0 so far.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see if the Angles can come back and maybe he like reverse sweep them.
Yeah.
So
that would be great for us, I know, at least, and I'm sure for you at home as well. We would love to have more than one map that we stream for you guys. So
one map for each like match throughout the playoffs.
What I am interested to see, however, is how the like Crazy Raccoons deal with the like that comp that the Angles run, because usually we see the Warwick Angles dominate.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see like how they deal with this.
Yeah, of course, hit seeker on the Bastion. But the Crazy Raccoons, they might be seeing like the early Widow pick, try and find that pick on the Bastion.
Yeah. Of course, that would be... I'm not... Can Widow one-shot a Bastion?
Yeah, you got Overwatch.
I don't think she can.
Huh.
Which would be interesting to see how that plays out. But of course, they do have the supports. Of course, a pick on a support very early would be a great opening opportunity for the Crazy Raccoon. Of course, Panda on that Sigma yet again, as we've seen before. We do have a bit of Junker on that Genji, essentially. But then again, we see that Vendetta, something we've not seen since the early weeks. See how that does. But they do look to try and take this Aggron early. Oh, they pulled the one for the history books there with the whole map pivot. So T9 finding that pick early on the Genji, but again, the Vendetta falls. So they do get that trade as they look to try and set up its own hotel.
The Widowmaker seems to be like slightly oppressive, but what I'm seeing, the Crazy Raccoons, they're running jetpack cats.
Yeah, that is something we've not yet seen so far. To see such a wild pick early. But I suppose it worked very well for the playstyle they were trying to go for, but it didn't quite work out. It's like Bastion and Seeker's like holding down that hotel. They're just struggling to find their way through the point here.
This Sigma is like staying very healthy. It's very difficult to track them down, it seems, and the Angles have like pretty good hold here.
So they force into that hotel, but then Heatseeker does find fire. And then finding Unknown. Again, they're just don't seem to be working out for the Crazy Raccoons just yet. They are struggling to find their way through onto this point. That just shows like how this comp, like the Warwick Angles comp, like heavily favors for these like hybrid maps. They know how to set up on this defense. By just playing in that hotel, just spamming them down.
Yeah, and being able to hold for quite solid time so far. It's good to see the Angles like putting in a fight. I thought it would be much more. Oh, here's the Vendetta from Crazy.
Yeah, trying to force Panda off that immediate close angle. Of course, they are looking to try and set up on these high grounds, trying to get that split push going. Bastion comes through to look to try and zone this Vendetta off the high ground. Because it comes through, they push him all the way back into pub. Pushing all the way through, the mats does get demeched. Good hold as they like split off all across the map. Supports on their own onto the point. They're not going to really look to high chance of surviving this one. Just look to try and force them out. Esam does manage to find a way out, but T90 will get a huge stagger onto him.
Yeah, that stagger is going to buy Warwick Angles even more time on this defense. It's really good to see. And the Sigma ult with the critical rush as well.
They are coming up on the jetpack cat ult, so they might be able to look to try and drag someone in if they can. But of course, they do have that Bastion, so that cat will be exposed on that dive in. But the bomb comes through to look to try and zone them out, try and get control of this point maybe. Let's get the remake. After the orbital ray comes through from the warwick angles for the Kitsune rush to try and counter it. They are forced back, but they will look to get aggressive with this orbital ray. Those fire does find a kill onto Junker, like that flank going on the cat. But does get the drag, drags Panda into the enemy team. Can they carry him alive? The Suzu is huge. Keeps him alive for just that little bit of time. We push up to this point, it's a big old fight for the bot. Philly Flux comes through, finds 2 with it. The Tracer is caught in it if they can kill him through. He does have Survivor though, but the Heat Seeker will fall. Or just pick us through on the Panda, and he does find it.
That's targeted there by the Tracer. Really good target there by Overcrazy to get a point finally. But only 30 seconds left. This will give the Warwick Angles a really good beginning to this defense.
Yeah. A long fight there from the other Crazy Cocoons. They did that good job of just like trying to zone split them up. Like what they've been trying to do this whole time. Their comp heavily relies on them like sticking together. They do find that early kill onto Junker, which
they hit the Bastion ult again.
That comes through, it looks to try and like force those cooldowns out, force someone off that high ground. They do aim to try and keep that there.
To be fair, the Sigma pick into the D.Va, I really enjoy that. That is a really good pick there by the angles.
Usually could be a bit of a struggle, but like the work angles, they do seem to be keeping it work. It's more like defensive, like tank compared to the aggressive one in the D.Va. Junker first pick yet again. The OC popped from T90. Looks to try and zone them out. Yeah, they will fall back all the way into factory. Or Squid Purr does fall to it. A nice shot from T90. They're now back up.
Yeah, the angles need to back up here really far with their squad dying there.
And then they have a Crazy Raccoon there just running them down. Because they do get that a good point like progression, but one on point they do not get like as much distance as they would as they like if they had 3 on point potentially, but like it is still they pushed them all the way back.
Yeah, even though they only have like 1 or 2, there you go, they have more people on it.
Well, the jetpack cat grabbing the bomb through and he finds 2. Heat Seeker and Squid fall. An epic combo from Fire. Drags the bomb.
And that is the value of jetpack cat bringing it in. First time seeing it, and holy, I'm happy to be seeing it because that combo is disgusting.
Like, how do you counter that? There's no counterplay.
Yeah, you're just sending a bomb backline and have fun with that.
Just gotta hope that you like to try and run straight to Panda's like, help, help! Bomb being dragged straight into your enemy team. The Crazy Cocoons now have all the space. He's head up the high ground. Heat Seeker jumps across, straight into the D.Va's face. Does force them out. We'll look to try and take this inside area.
Crazy has 3 ults, but it's mad about the Warwick Angles with also 4 actually.
The back cat ult comes through, does find Panda. They're going to try and drag him onto the map. Well, they use the Kinetic Flash to try and stay alive. Junker finds T90 with the blade. The orbital ray comes through from the Warwick Angles. Duel, the Flex DPS duel in the back. Junker does manage to stay alive with that orbital ray. Again, not too many fall for the other Crazy Raccoons, but they do still try and push them back.
The watch out on the DPS is from Overcrazy. Both of them having ults here. There's a Trojan ult pop.
Well, again, Junker's caught exposed. T90 does find the kill. Now they look to go aggressive. They do have that Kitsune rush at the Bastion ult. They look to recontest this. They want to fight early, but 1 down. Will be a struggle.
No, Overcrazy have the high ground, but
Kitsune rush comes through. Panda does fall low. We'll have to back up just that little bit. Welcome to does find us, but the Demon falls low. He does get D-Max. He uses the bomb to try and get that free remake. Fire does fall to Heat Seeker. One support down, they will look to back.
They have 1 minute 20 here, Overcrazy, to get that like final push to get those like 3 points and be in a pretty strong position.
Yeah. No ults for them though, however, but like, again, Heat Seeker, the only one with an ult online. Yeah, with like with such high mobility with their current team, it will be hard to find value from that Bastion ult, so they will probably just look to try and hold it for maybe a late fight ult, just like clean up potentially.
Yeah, the Sigma ult is getting built up here, so maybe they want to try a combo attack.
Well, that could be huge for them as Junker again falls first. That's finds the kill on him there. The big flux comes through. Does he find any value from it? I don't know. Or is he to hit the jetpack out? Cat ult comes through.
There's a Bastion
Looks
coming
like
in.
Squid now falls to T90. Now Bastion not come through. Doesn't quite find any values. They will now. Let's try and get this full push.
And it seems that this is a team wide by Albert Crazy Raccoons, and they get that full push with 20 seconds left. Really strong play, especially there towards the end. They struggle a bit at the start to gain that like control point, but after that it seemed like very dominant.
Yeah, once that like more bunker setup that they had like on that first point, can't really do that with such a like the different setup as it could go through on that point. So
yeah,
essentially they couldn't quite find that holding. Crazy Raccoon, they did well. Of course, it was a good defensive hold though. They do get them down to 21 seconds.
21 seconds, yeah, and if the Warwick Angles here can have like a strong first few fights where they can get a point way faster, I think they'll be in a pretty good position. But again, being down 2-0 in the series, this could be like crucial.
Yeah.
Maybe like some how do I say this? Sweats? No sweat, like anxiety from the Warwick Angles.
Yeah, it's like do or die for them. They need to clutch up here if they are to like stay in this series.
Yeah.
Of course, they do have that lower bracket that they can fall back down to. But then yet again,
you don't want to be there because
exactly.
then you are just in a risk of elimination in any game after this. So
the competition is deep in this upper bracket. We see the Gemma Cat there again looking for some early strats on that window. Don't know if you see that. Oh, they do see it and they do back off. That'd have been funny to see.
Yeah. But honestly, the Jetpack Cat has been found like to find like a lot of value, especially like those combos, especially like the Diva bomb. Like
yeah, I'm surprised I actually see that in such like a more high level play. I think that might be a troll. They're trying to get that CTP early, try and catch them out, but I don't think that was where they intended to place it.
Yeah.
But they don't get too much space on that. They do fall lower, but they Crazy Raccoons. They do lose 2 numbers. Trade supports, trade Kirikos. But Matt, he's finding that value, but like he does get demec'd nonetheless. They do have that point. No supports alive for the Warwick Angles though, so they do have to just try and like play that a little bit safe, but Heatseeker finds a great grenade. And kills Mats. Put fire on the Jetpack Cat, he's just getting that infinite stall, they just can't hit him.
What are you meant to do against this character? It's even more annoying Bara.
Yeah. Just that infinite flight. You just got to rely on like basically Heatseeker alone to just try and take him out the air.
But even with that said, the Warwick Angles still gained a point very early on. So that's really good to see for their side. But let's see how the Abercrombie Raccoons can counter this.
Yeah, of course, Panda coming off on that Graphic Flux ult before. Mostly Abercrombie Raccoon, they will be coming off on that Force Bomb, but yet again, that's not really like a especially team winning or team fight winning ult. So this is more like get that first pick. See how Panda can make use of that if you can build it in time. Try and catch him out. Because Abercrombie have now swapped to the Ramatra. Take a look for a more brawl. Well, TP comes through, trying to catch out the sports in the back. They are just a little bit split. It's fine, but like, yeah, Squid falls. Comes to 2, and then again, Crazy Raccoons just, they do get that good stall. TP couldn't quite find the value that they hoped.
What do you play to counter the cat?
I feel like you just have to go like hit scan mostly.
Yeah.
Like that is just a way to take them out. Probably the Cassidy would probably be your best bet. Then again, like, it would only have to worry too much if you're getting dove by the cat. The only one that could really get dove like in that kind of situation would be Heatseeker on a Bastion or like Squid on the Juno.
Yeah.
Like, most other people would probably have that sustain. Or the Jetpack Cat ult comes through. Does find Heatseeker with it, but just drags him straight into the middle of the team, but he does fall nonetheless. Big Flux comes through, does find Mats in it. He does fall low and he will die to it. Down that tank. The great Flux for them. The Kitsune rushes come through from both teams. They will look to fight this even though they are down that tank. Have some misplay from the other Crazy Raccoons, but they do fall. They can't quite hold that space without their Ramatra in play. And they look to try and force them out that high ground.
Yeah, and with that fight being able to win from Warwick Angles, they get it to push even further. Now 3 minutes further to get to the even first point.
So TP to get that Sigma off onto the high ground. Does not have the fly perk yet, so like getting your Sigma off on that high ground, they will have to try and force him out. The OC comes through from T90. The Simwall that will zone that off completely.
Oh no.
Gonna fire the Orbital Ray and the Annihilation come through. No, they just have that Annihilation. It's the Nemesis form. There comes the Annihilation. Looking to try and touch Infinite Stall as long as possible.
These guys all here though.
Oh, if he does get rocked, there will be some huge damage going through on it, but the Sim will beam him down. Why does find Junker, however, with the claw to the face. 1590 with a great shot on Squid. Yeah, just cleaning up the warwick angles now.
Yeah, 190 there going T90. Oops. I don't know why I said 190. But cleaning up and being able to hold the second point just right at the edge.
Yeah. It was a great job. Got the Annihilation. Using that to just like keep that extra sustain.
Honestly, when I saw like Mats fall down, I thought, oh, that's gonna be it. Warwick Angles have this angle, but no. T9 just being able to get that double kill.
Oh, the damage is turning through Panda. The Disruptor has forced him out. Stain comes through, but they do now. Unknown is now on that Vendetta, so with a map like this, they might be able to get more value on that, like, especially in this area compared to like first point. My defense just trying to look to catch more supports out.
The sports and Heat Seeker.
Oh, there's a great pick on the early on to Squid. Box comes through as they're trying to catch that Sojourn Alpha at that high ground. Whether you're able to fall, but the stain is just too much. No one really had an angle from the Warwick angles on that Sojourn to find that kill. We have a Crazy Raccoons. Another good fight win from them. Just burning down that time on that last choke.
Panda's coming to Amalga here from the Sigma. Maybe want to try and go for that more divey.
Yeah, I think Matt's on the Remarkatory to be able to burn him down just a little bit more. I think from an early store, they look to try and fight this right amount of spawn. The net roll comes through. They look to fight it, but Heatseeker does fall. That's over-peaked. They will now just get burnt down. Well, both of them, like, whoever made that call was like to like fight them early, catch them off guard.
Yeah, and Warwick Angles here in an awful position. 1 man left to get that final push, and the payload just getting pushed back even more. Now getting staggered.
Weird. No one can hide from fire on Cat. He's just gonna pull onto Heatseeker, pulls him in. Sam finds a finishing blow. And they're just looking to fight them in their spawn now. The Kitsu rush in the spawn as well. We add an insult to injury. But if Warwick Angles can find a kill here, they will be have that opening. Try and touch that point early, but T90 with a Disruptor finding 2. Huge kills from him. But he's proving pivotal, like find these early picks on that Sojourn.
The Sojourn exit by type combo just seems so oppressive to play against.
Oh, and they have completed the touch spawn door challenge. Oh, is Junker trying to find his way through? He does sneak through on 1 HP, but Panda exposed on his own. OC gets popped. Looking to fight in their spawn yet again. Panda trying to clear him out. He does fall low. He's like deep in their backline now as they do find 2 kills. They will get an advantage on point, but they have to run to point. They only have 10 seconds left. So Panda's going to have to like almost try and get this touch. Will they have the KO? I don't think they will. 5 seconds left.
I don't think they will be able to get a touch, and I think that is game.
But the Sim TP, will they be able to find it? And they can't find it.
Oh, they were right there, and our Crazy Raccoons take the game 3-0. Such a quick map, man.
I know, another 1 map special from us. But congratulations to the other Crazy Raccoon. They do advance in this upper bracket.
Yeah, now to the upper semi-finals.
Yeah, I believe. A great performance.
Crazy seemed like a very strong team coming through this upper bracket.
The brutal spawn hold. And the other Crazy Raccoon. Like again, like they're just trying to TP out of spawn, but T90 is just right there in your face, just beaming you down.
How can you teleport when even you can't get out with that teleport? Like, that did not matter, but like, yeah, really strong like performance there by our Crazy Raccoons, and a team that you should be watching out for.
Yeah, of course the Warwick Angles as well. They did put up that fight, especially towards like the early stage, middle of the game. Like they did look like they found their footing almost on that on the defense, especially. They almost full held them.
Yeah,
Kings Row, which would have been a great setup for them potentially if they could win that map. Go on further, but again, great clutches from the other Crazy Raccoon. Great play from them all around. Look forward to seeing them in the future.
Yeah, both teams honestly like Warwick Angles. I can see them as a dark horse going through those like lower like brackets.
Yeah,
and being able to like even get in the final, like especially that they do have a strong team. They have a very solid team, but just seem to be outmatched today.
Potentially, if they can expand their hero pools, maybe.
Heatseeker.
I'm sorry, Heatseeker. Maybe it might be time to pivot off that Bastion. Like it works. When it works a treat.
Yeah,
But then there are
and
just sometimes where it doesn't.
that's something that we've noticed. Like before, like in the match against the
Snakeskins, yeah.
Snakeskins, is like, yeah, the Bastion can be a good pick. Like at first, but like after the team adapts to it, you can't really do much as Bastion. Feels like,
Yeah.
especially his ultimate is very easy to dodge.
Mm.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can expand their map pool. But if he works for the lower bracket, who knows?
Or he keeps practicing Bastion and gets even better on that Bastion. He just becomes unstoppable.
Honestly,
Rank 1 Bastion.
probably is one of the five, or the only 5 Bastion players, I swear.
Well,
But
he did have he was popular in the meta, especially last season. Like, he
oh,
was particularly broken, but of course the Nuts have put him down that little bit. Other heroes like Sojourn, is
Sojourn.
kind of like outperforming him. But again, still not a bad pick. But again, will be interesting to see how well they do in the future. That will be about it from
Yeah.
us today. Like 2 maps you get from us. What a treat. Of course, shout out to the other streams as well. Like, go check them out, see what they're doing. Like NSC 1, it's like NSC GG and NSC GG 3 are the other ones. So make sure you go check those out. That's about it from us today. We will see you next week, hopefully with a full series.
Yeah.
So we will see you then. Thanks for watching.